Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the West East Podcast. My name is Amanda, and I'm joined by the one and only Dr. Art. Hi, Dr. Art.
Hi, Amy.
What are we getting into today?
So today we are going to talk about, have you ever had that feeling when you wake up exhausted and you go through the whole day on autopilot and again go back to sleep, you finish your chores, you finish your responsibility and then again wake up exhausted and you wait for weekend you to rest it out, you wait for like few vacation to rest it out, but you still feel exhausted, and no matter how much you rest you feel exhausted, and days goes by, years goes by, and you feel like the condition is the same. Have you ever felt that?
Yeah, I think you're describing someone with a 9 to 5 job. I'm just kidding. Um, um, yeah, I, I have. Um, I used to think that it was just chronic fatigue, which
Yeah.
in season one I talked about having MS, so it's something that I've experienced. But I think what you're talking about is something a little bit different. Maybe fatigue is like part of it, right? Because that's essentially like a
Part of it,
prolonged,
yes.
yeah. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, what would you call that state? I think I can relate
So
to that.
yeah, so it is like this is called a survival mode. When body is, it is a state of mind when a person is more focused on uh, like saving yourself, like managing the stress, going through the day, just finishing menial task, and not about growing or enjoying or living, or it's rather being safe than just experiencing life. That's called
Hmm.
survival mode, and it's very subtle, and it can be in me also, it can be you also, anyone can be going through that. So, and it's very subtle that we cannot even know that we are going through unless and until we become little bit aware, and we someone points it out or something happens and that clicks us.
Hmm. I think okay, so survival mode. So that's what we'll be focusing on today, folks, and that was well explained. And I can just I just wonder how many people were nodding along in that first explanation when you said, "Have you ever felt this way?" or "Have you ever gone through that?" Um, I think that we probably. I'm going to assume for a second that with the would you call it recent promotion of like mental health awareness and initiatives to normalize getting therapy if you need it, or talking through problems if you
Yes.
have it. I feel like this is, I don't know how recent the term is, right? But survival mode is something that I feel like my grandparents were just in all the time, but they didn't have a choice. Like, and it
Yeah.
wasn't talked about, so they wouldn't call it that. They would just call it, I don't know, like life. um, what is that why people can't recognize it in themselves, do you think? Or why like it gets like
Yeah. So
excused or just,
yeah,
yeah.
and so have you like it happens when we are happy, when we are in that state, that time we don't realize that we are in that mood. We can be
Yeah.
happy when we are in survival mode, but our main thing is like to survive. So have you ever thought that someone was very cheerful and then suddenly become irritated or distance, like depending on the person to person, the response of survival mode can be different. People shut down, some people become more irritable. You just ask them how are you, and they just like what do you think, what do you mean, and they just blast at you. So those kind of subtle signs you feel, and like literally they feel that they're just stressed, but
Mm.
actually they are going through a lot more than overthinking and self criticizing, and not able to manage the menial task. All those things can be the alarming signs that someone needs care, and someone needs a proper counseling for the survival mode.
Is it something that like, um, is it something that you think somebody gets stuck in? It sounds like, so at the beginning, what
Yeah.
you described sounded like a state that you're in constantly. But the way you just
Mm-hmm.
described it there sounds like something that you can pop in and out of. Meaning, it's kind of like when somebody has a habit, let's say like a bad habit, but they're still functional. You know what I mean? So sometimes it takes over completely. Like, is
So
there a
in
level of
survival mode,
survival
we
mode
all
that?
are functional.
Yeah. Okay.
We are
Okay.
functional, we are on autopilot, our responsibilities are taken care of, you are earning, you are doing your work, you are everything, but you are not focusing on your happiness,
Hmm.
your health. Maybe sometimes, a person goes to gym also, they do all the diet also, but they are not nurturing themselves, they are just doing it out of autopilot, and
Yeah.
they are not thriving, they are just, okay, this is the task, I have to get through this day, I have to achieve this much, so my salary comes, my job is secured, my life is secured, and that's it. They are not thinking about enjoying the day with partner, they are not able to enjoy with children, they just keep on going. It's like they are living, but they are not living to experience, they are just, it's just like a robotic living.
Yeah.
Am
I
I
wonder
making
too.
sense, or
Yeah,
making it
no, a
complicated?
100% you are. No, I think, well, I think that it's, mental health is always complicated, right? Like, no matter what,
Yeah,
because some people hear that and probably, like I said, right? If I said, explain this to my grandmother, who is a wonderful person and very intelligent and very open-minded and, like, uh, uh, she'd probably laugh if I said that because she's also very set in her
no
ways,
one
like, and
will
very
accept it
disciplined.
because it
Yeah,
sounds like it's living, it's a part of living,
that's what I'm
I
trying to
think
say. She,
our earlier generation was
yeah,
like in survival mode whole life, because they had to earn, they
yeah,
had to provide, they
yeah.
had to build life for themselves, so they didn't it like it they felt that they were thriving, but actually they were just
Hmm.
surviving.
Yeah, yeah, and I, the way, okay, so what I really like about how you're describing this is that that adding that layer of that people are functional, I guess, like what I'm trying to think in solution mode, I guess you could say, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
always how I've dealt with like my own mental health, and I think it comes from being diagnosed like as a teenager with MS. I'm always in solution mode and probably was stuck in survival mode. I probably still am on and off, right? Like, because
yeah.
life gets
I was
tough.
stuck
So
in survival mode for
yeah,
almost 40 years. I became doctor.
yeah.
I traveled the world. I was doing everything, and I didn't still didn't have an idea that I was in survival mode.
How did you recognize it? Like, what do you mind? Since you
So
mentioned it.
yeah, no problem. So after my divorce, when I took therapy, my therapist told me that I am very surprised that in this survival mode, if you have done all these things, then what you will do if you come out of it? And then she, at that time, it was very like, I am not in survival mode, I am okay. That
Yeah.
time I was so much in denial that I was not understanding it, and then I started to become aware that yes, I'm just it is a scarcity mindset, that
Mhm.
yeah, I just need to survive this, I don't know, like imagine you give half of the people, if you give choice of a stable job and starting a business, they want to start a business, but they are
Yeah.
so
They're
scared to
afraid.
survive that
Yeah.
they will choose the steady 9 to 5 job over the risk of this thing. So
Mhm.
this is not this is a survival mindset. I'm just giving an example, but survival mode
Mhm.
is simply just like you study, you take a
Mhm.
job, you become you like go up the ladder, you get married, you have
Mhm.
kids, you grow up the kids, now you are stuck in the kids life. You are not focusing on what you want or what you want to do, you are just doing everything whoever is being told to you or conditioned you, and you are society has told you that this is the way it should be.
Mhm.
And in doing that, you don't realize that you actually, do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Actually, do you want to do 9 to 5 job, or do you want to get married, or do you want to are you ready for all this responsibility? It's not, nothing is wrong, everything is part of life, but it's being aware about your choice.
Mhm.
Sometimes we are choosing out of conditioning, sometimes you are choosing out of pressure, sometimes you are choosing because everybody is doing that, if we don't do it, then it will be then we think we are not normal. So
Mhm.
that part of survival mode is in everyone. So we
Mhm.
need to be aware about where we can thrive, what we want to do. You want to get married, yes, do get married, but be aware about it and be 100% in it, so you will give the justice to the marriage and you will thrive in marriage.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do the 9 to 5 job, yes, you can do it, but be aware about it, that you, yes, that is my goal, that's I want to do it. And that will, you'll be happy doing that 9 to 5 job. It's not that
Yeah.
it's like, it's everybody is like, burnout and stress has become so normalized nowadays that it's a life, it's just
Hmm.
part of life. No, it's not. You need,
Yeah.
you are here in the earth to experience the world the way you want. You are not here to, burn out or to take a stress, or because everybody is doing it, we are normalizing it. But no, you have much more capability in you than you think.
I think I like that you brought it around to like if you want those things. I'll add a layer to that because I think that some people um, some people are comfortable maybe taking a job that they're not crazy about or they're not like they don't really want that well, and it's not that they're in survival mode. It's because that job will give them the means to meet the goals that they're trying to reach, right? So I think
Yeah,
that that's perfectly as acceptable because again, you're not just doing the job to survive, you have a goal and
you
you're
have a
fine
goal
to
to
give your
achieve,
time
yes.
to the
that
nine to
is that is
five or
completely, but
whatever it is,
yeah,
so that you can,
but you are not stopping your life, you are enjoying the life while doing that job. You understand what
yeah.
I mean? The
So,
difference is
so
that, oh, I'm just
yeah.
going through the day, and oh, I'm building something. That is
Yes,
different.
I understand what you're saying. The reason why I'm mentioning it is I feel like I've heard a version of this narrative before, and the answer that I've seen people take from it is, "Oh, I should just quit my job because I don't like my job." Well,
No, 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 no,
I
no,
feel like
I'm
in a
not saying that.
certain no, no, no. I know you're
No.
not saying that. I'm just making sure that I emphasize
I
like
am doing 9
listening
to
to
5
it.
job right now.
You're this and myself included and the industry that I'm in is far from the industry that like I would have trained for when I was blessed to be able to go to a university. Thank you to my parents who paid for it. Like I'm not going to sit here
Yeah,
and say I was a kid that had to take a student loan. My parents took loans so that I could go and do that. But
yeah.
I ended up in a different industry and the choice at the time was, okay, I don't know if I want to do this job. I actually do love my job. Like it's not, I don't dislike what I do. But I never would have thought I would have ended up there because, it was just so far from what I studied. But I thought, okay, what are my other goals? And am I willing to spend, 40 hours a week in this job doing whatever it is I have to do to be able to earn that salary or, you know what I mean, have health benefits and that kind of stuff. And it really, it was really very important to me. So, um, I just think it's a cool way to spin this and look at it. And I know that that's what you were saying too. So that's the only reason I mentioned that is I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No,
Sometimes
I'm not
people,
asking everybody to get divorced or get leave the job or anything. I'm just trying to say
yeah,
that this is how it starts, and then
yes,
when your body cannot take it, then either you become distant or you become so irritated. And
yeah,
people say that you have been changed, or your nature has changed. Earlier you were not like this. They just snap
hmm,
at the things, or they become so distant that they try to just do the doom scrolling. And this is
yeah,
the high severe version of it. So survival mode can be as easy as just living easily and just finishing your life without any problem, or it can someone that become, they are doing it for so long that it will be affected in their health and they need attention. So it
yeah,
can be milder to the severe. So I would say is, the best thing to do is, whether you are in survival mode, if you are feeling constantly fatigued, anxious and exhausted, I would say take a counseling. Let the counselor help. And if
hmm,
you are in survival mode, they will be able to, because this will not go away in one day.
yeah,
You need to peel the layer, understand the problem, and is it, if you are suffering from that or not. First of all, we need to establish that. So
yeah,
counselor or a therapist is the right person to guide you. So as my therapist guided me and she explained me my problems, And then I understood that how to, even right now sometimes I go in that mode and I don't realize it, because it is safer for me. Our
Hmm.
mind goes to the things which is convenient and which is easier, where I can live.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mind's job is just to make this person go and breathe, that's it, not to die.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Mind
It's
doesn't care
true.
that you become millionaire or you become
It,
successful or you do something,
yeah.
you achieve something. Mind's job is, this person was brought in the earth, my job is to make this, keep this person alive, that's it.
Well, and then on top of it, there's so many ways to just keep us comfortable, which
Yeah,
is the
and
opposite of
right
what
now it
humans
is so
actually need.
live what,
Yeah.
yeah, we are living in a
Mm.
world where we are so easily distracted also.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about dopamine, right? The dopamine
Yeah,
detox and the dopamine addiction that um, even the apps that we post this show on are probably guilty of giving people. And like, oh, there's so many rabbit holes you could go down. um
yeah,
I feel like we've covered a lot of ground and explained a lot of things. We're just kind of scratching the surface still, because there's a lot more to explore. So
yeah, you
maybe
cannot
we pick this
explain it
up.
in 20 minutes also.
No, gosh, no, gosh, no. But hopefully start a conversation and get people thinking. Now, I want to
Yeah,
pivot for a second, because you are Dr. Art, and I know that one of the things you discovered was a love. I mean, you have a love for art, but that you could kind of combine, right? Your, I don't know, what is it? Your left brain medical, like, acumen, and your love of art, and this discipline called art therapy does exist. That's why we call you
yeah.
Dr. Art. So is there, I'm just curious, what role does art therapy play for somebody who is in survival mode and wants to explore that as an avenue to help, or like, yeah, where is that in the process? And that's how I want to end it, is with a little bit of art therapy education uh, for today.
So art therapy is one of the therapy where, like counseling is there, like where you speak. There are CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. There are different type of therapy. So art therapy is part of that, one of the therapy which you can opt if you are want, if you are in love for art. And art brings a non-verbal cue, like you so in survival mode, one of the thing is you become in present. So in
Mm,
survival mode, either we are worrying too much about for future or too much about past, that oh, I failed, so I will fail now. Oh, what if I my money goes off? So either
mm,
you are in past or you are in future. So one of the things which you should do is, as much as you can, it's very difficult, but with practice you can be aware and be in present, be in the momentum. So art therapy helps you to be in the now. So with each, there are few exercises which you can do and be present. Or when you are overthinking, it helps you to channelize your thought and become uh, more decluttered or more untangled. And there are few activities which you can do and be more in present and help you understand and help you feel calm and relaxed. There are, it's like I'm just explaining it in a superficial level,
of
but
course.
art can definitely there are certain activities, like if you want to understand where you are harboring a problem, then when you draw your minds, draw yourself, then part of it will explore and make you feel more anxious. And then you'll understand where you are harboring your stress in the body and you can locate those on them. And one thing, when we explain what when you are pleasant or when you are happy, and where what do you feel the sensation, and describe those sensation, and that gives you a like a mirror that gives you an idea that both of them are you only.
Mm. So it's like
So the
it's a good
art therapy helps us, yes. So first of all, it helps us bring in the present, and it is non-verbal. You don't have to feel judged. Like if you say that I was going through this, why we are scared? Because we are scared because we are I, if I tell you something, and I will be very reluctant to tell you something, because not every, I was not a comfortable person to share everything with anyone. I'm very introverted person. I don't tell everything about myself to everyone. Now I am different, But earlier I was like, I would rather die than tell my problems to other, because that was a sign of weakness for me.
I wish I had that
Or
problem.
I had a feeling of judgment,
Yeah.
like what if I tell Amanda this and she thinks that I am this and that. It keeps, there is like so many layer to complicated layer to human mind, that we are
Mhm.
very scared of speaking up. So art gives us as a medium where, you don't have to speak up, you don't have to explain everything, it just flows through your art and colors and your activities, and it gives you that same amount of, understanding, awareness, and resolutions.
So it's like an intervention. That's what. So
Yes,
I guess like
yes,
in the journey of it, maybe it's not the thing that helps you discover it, but it might be the thing that helps you sort of intervene and
yes.
rethink and like I'm gonna say get back on track. Very cool, very cool. Okay, well, if I was in survival mode before, I'm definitely engaged now, and back on track myself. Curious to hear if
Keep checking. Yeah,
anybody,
we
yeah,
need to keep checking in, because we have a
yeah,
habit of going there, because it is very easier for us, so we need to, you know
yeah,
go there and check.
yeah. I'll push back a little bit and say I think that depends on the personality type too.
Yes, definitely.
What because if you're what is it, your mental hygiene, like your routine includes um uh I really like the phrase feeling comfortable with being uncomfortable, and it's something that I've tried to condition myself constantly. So I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm perfectly aware of it all the time, and I know
Oh
what you're
no.
trying to say, like to
Yeah,
check
I
in a lot,
understand.
but
Yeah,
yeah, but it's like I feel like it's something that, you know, it shouldn't overwhelm people either. It's not like another thing you have to worry about, like, oh, am I in survival mode? Is this it? You know, it's just another tool you can have in your toolkit when you're thinking about,
yeah,
you're checking in with yourself. How am I doing? How am I feeling? You're looking in the mirror in the morning, brushing your teeth, whatever it is. Whenever you take that second, if you get that second, right? If you don't have that second, maybe that's where you start. It's like, can I find a second to just like
yeah.
think
For
about how I'm
myself.
doing? Yeah. Yeah. But, wow. Okay. Really cool topic. I feel like we should end
We
it
can do
here,
part
or
2
we'll,
also, because we haven't
yeah,
covered everything.
yeah, definitely we'll do a part two. I don't know about next episode, but maybe next episode, maybe a couple
We'll do
episodes. You'll just have
someday.
to keep watching,
Yeah.
folks, so that you can see when we talk about this again. But for now, I'll say, Dr. Art, thank you so much. This was cool and totally in your wheelhouse. So I really wanted to give you the floor to talk about this and like a sister, I was there to just be like, hey, what about this? What about this? So thank you. And folks, if you feel comfortable and you want to start a conversation about this in the chat, we'd love to hear from you. But either way, we'll be back again next week with another episode. And for now, we'll say bye. So bye, everybody. Say bye, Dr. Art.
3 for my city, 4 for my city. No, I'm the one who'd go to war for my city. 5 for my city, 6 is my city. Holla at me if y'all vibe with my city. Come try on my city, don't you lie in my city. Symbol of truth, I'll fight for my city.
The West East podcast is part of the We campaign, also known as Anti-East Indian Hate Campaign by Viragya Entertainment. You can weigh in on the conversation in the meantime in our comments section or on our social media. You can also visit www.imshivam.net/w.e. Remember, Vasudev Kutumbakam. We are all one family. Until next time.